Are you finding yourself right now getting ready to be put in the position where you're having to live alone and you've never done that before in your entire life? You know, you're just getting ready to leave high school and getting ready to go out into the real world, either in college or just in general, and you don't know what to do since you now are having to potentially come to grips with the fact that you might be living alone instead of a roommate. Or maybe you're an unfortunate married man whose wife kicked you out of the house because you made a joke about only needing one hoe when you asked her to bring you a hoe to help in the garden. Regardless of where you're coming from, you find yourself right now in the position of getting ready to live alone. And you don't know what to do. It's a new sort of environment for you, and it's scary because you haven't experienced it before. Well, strap yourselves in because I'm going to be giving you 5 tips for living alone that I have learned over the 6 or 7 years I have lived alone throughout my time in college to as of right now. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first tip I want to give is getting in the right mindset. Don't dwell on the fear of being alone. It isn't as scary as you think it is. It's just scary because you've never done it before. You know, it's just going to be you alone in an apartment probably, or even a house of some kind, or even a trailer if you're in that kind of lifestyle, or RV even. You know, it can be a scary environment because now there's no one around to conversate or to rely on. Sure, you might be a cat lady or a dog person and have animals nearby, which can also help with, you know, keeping you company, but you're alone. There's no other human being, so don't get too afraid of it, because that can screw you up in the head and it'll start making you question reality or go down a really deep, dark rabbit hole of not knowing what to do, and so on and vice versa. So just focus on the now, because it doesn't do anything to dwell about a bunch of what-if scenarios and put yourself in a hole or in a corner and then you just can't get yourself out of it because you're going around in circles. But tip number 2, create a schedule. See, this will help you from procrastinating and while also keeping you efficient because, let's face it, you're alone now. You have to now do all the chores yourself. There's no mommy or daddy or wife or girlfriend or whatever position you find yourself in that's going to do those chores for you. You are on your own. You have to take out the garbage by yourself. You have to wash the dishes by yourself. You have to fold the laundry or even do laundry by yourself. You have to brush your teeth by yourself. You even have to shower by yourself if you're really into that situation as well, like I said. A lot of these things are going to be up to you. So creating a schedule and managing your time will help keep you efficient for something like this. You know, it could be something as simple as, in my case, I go shopping every Saturday in the morning before Walmart opens or around the time Walmart opens. And why is that? Because it's a good way to start the day, get all that hard part of going shopping out of the way, and I'm good for the week and just can move on. And again, creating a shopping list too is another thing we can throw in this tip as well. Having a shopping list will easily help you get everything you need, and again, to fuel that keeping you efficient part about creating a schedule and keeping you going forward. Tip number 3 is what I like to call background noise. If you find yourself really scared of just the silence of your apartment, house, or wherever you live, and it's just driving you crazy, just put some background noise on. It could either be a podcast, or a playlist of your favorite music, or a very long YouTube video essays just to have in the background. Or you might even be doing that right now as you're listening to this video, doing a chore or playing a video game, or literally listening to this while you're on the toilet dropping a deuce of some kind. So, create some background noise. It'll help sort of, keep you sane and not lose your mind and give into potential voices in your head that might develop. I'm kidding. That won't happen, probably. If it does, you should probably see somebody. So, just like I said, put something in the background. You could even have, like, calming beach noises or rain noises or train horns or train tracks if you're into that. Or you could be like me. I live right next to a train, so you can hear that more or less on and off. So, that's what I'd say when it comes to background noise. It's just having something in the background can help you kind of feeling, not too scared of the silence that comes with, living alone. But you can't always have a background noise going on, so sometimes the best thing to do is to slowly train yourself to get used to that silence if, again, you run out of YouTube video essays, podcasts, or playlists or whatnot. At least that's what I kind of do. Sometimes the silence is nice to have in the background. So anyway, tip number 4. This is going to sound weird, but invest in some sort of scented candles or Febreze pod things that plug into your wall. Now, I know this is probably a weird tip to give, and I bet you're asking why. See, at least for me personally, I like having my place smell different, and eventually you will go nose blind to it, but having your place smell different every once in a while, it does kind of make you feel a bit more relaxed. And I know it's probably weird and probably not giving the best kind of example, but at least for me, I find having that in my apartment just, it gives me a sense of relaxing and calming. And sometimes I'll either switch them out just to give my apartment a different smell compared to what it was before if I eventually become nose blind to it. I don't know, it just helps kind of keep me calm. It's probably weird and maybe I sound like I'm a freaking, you know, feminine kind of guy, but I mean, hey, you know, if you can find yourself something, you know, a smell that you really like or like to mix and match, it does help kind of make you feel relaxed. And at least doesn't make you, you know, feel like your place is a disgusting den if you do end up having company come over at some point. Which now transitions us into the final tip, keeping your place clean. As someone who has done junk removal, eviction cleanups, and now painting, the amount of disgusting places I've seen from apartments, townhomes, or even just regular houses is insane. Like, you question how people can live like this, and it's disgusting. It really is. And I say this because not only is having a clean, well-kept place very important for your own health and hygiene, but it does also screw with your mind. Because if your place where you dwell, where you live in, you know, has junk and garbage everywhere and things piling up and stacking up in certain parts, it can affect your thought process in your mind and how you process, you know, things around you and how you remember and memorize certain things, like your short-term memory. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, at least for me, if I feel like I'm getting scatterbrained or I'm losing my mind or having weird, like, moments of clarity and they're gone, back and forth, that kind of thing, I just look around at my apartment and see if, you know, if it's too piled up or too cluttered, and I just do a nice little tidy up, clean up kind of thing. Because it doesn't mean you have to have, you know, like that freaking scene from SpongeBob where everything's chrome and, you know, nice and clean. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. But it would be nice to have, you know, your place not, you know, smell like used toilet paper or feet. And, you know, going back to tip 4, but also, it doesn't hurt to have your place be clean and help you kind of wake up or come home from work and, you know, not feel like you live in a pigsty or in a, you know, cave-dwelling troll den. So, it's a nice thing to have. And it's hard to probably commit to it because, you know, ugh, I have to clean, I have to vacuum, you know, I have to clean the counter, do all this and that. It just feels like a lot. Trust me, if you go back to tip 2 and create a schedule and manage it, it's not that difficult or hard to do. And honestly, if you keep your apartment or wherever you live clean as possible, you'll find yourself not having to do, like, spring cleaning nearly as much. You know, maybe clean once or twice every month or every other month because, you know, you did such a good job at cleaning and managing your place of residence and relaxation and safety in home. Because at the end of the day, living alone, it's scary. It can be a whole new environment and you just don't know what to do. But if you can get used to it and enjoy it, it can be very cathartic and very nice to have. And I can easily create another video talking about the pros and cons of living alone and, you know, what are my other struggles with it. But I've found in my 7 or so years of doing it that I honestly really enjoy it more than I resent it now. Because it's, I don't know, at least for me, it's nice to come home, take my shoes off and my work clothes, put my feet up and be like, yep, I'm done. I don't have to worry about anyone nagging in my ear or bothering me. It's nice. It's cathartic. So, anyway, that's all I have for this video. And if you want to see any more tips and advice I have about living alone or pros and cons like I mentioned earlier, you know, just let me know in the comments down below. So, anyway, once again, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell to know when I go live. We are still on the road to 300 subscribers. There's no timetable on this. It's just whenever we hit it, and we'll just go from there. So, anyway, I will see you guys with another video. Y'all take care and have a good rest of your Friday.